Dear brothers and sisters, let us go into the breach. This is Joe Resinello from the Frontline with Joe and Joe on the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. I felt inspired to give a little talk about Vatican II versus the spirit of Vatican II. Many people who go to the Latin Mass reject the documents of Vatican II, and I think that they're confusing the spirit of Vatican II versus the documents themselves, and I invite you to read them. Particularly pay attention to the writings of St. Benedict the 16th, who was at all of the meetings, the whole entire council from 1962 to 1965. The documents, and this is where I want to talk to you about, what I want to talk to you about today. The documents are not being lived out. What you're seeing at the Novus Ordo Mass is the spirit of Vatican II, which in many respects is incorrect and has not bore fruit. It has not bore fruit. And that is why I think we have this controversy today between the Latin Mass folks and those who go to the Novus Ordo. They're looking for the sense of the sacred. And in many Novus Ordo Masses, sadly, we have lost the sense of the sacred. And that has to be recovered, but it's not a valid approach to say the documents themselves are incorrect. That is an incorrect statement, and you're not in continuity with the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church has embraced the documents themselves. The problem is they're not being lived out. What we're seeing is the spirit of Vatican II. What I would say is this: go to orders that have a Novus Ordo Mass. There is a sense of the sacred, and they bear fruit. The Missionaries of Charity, the Sisters of Life, the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal. That's three examples. Christ tells us very clearly, you'll know them by their fruits. What we have to do is live the documents themselves. Many theologians will tell you that as well. I mentioned Benedict XVI. Peter Krasinski will say that, as well as Ralph Martin. What we're seeing, sadly, is many people, and I'm going to talk about this too, particularly about Pope Francis. You can't reject him as the Pope. What I will say is this: I don't like his approach, which sadly has been not clear. I've said that from the very beginning. Pope Francis has not been clear. With that said, I don't think he rejects the teachings of the church, and he is the Pope. That's very important. However, I think his approach, which has been unclear, has bore bad fruit in the church. Many people who embrace the spirit of Vatican II do not clearly state what the church teaches. Many of them are sincere. They believe they're going to bring people in the church. They don't speak clearly on the teachings, and then the Holy Spirit will move them forward to the truth. But first, you got to get them in the door. I disagree with that approach. That approach has not worked for 60 years. What works is clarity with charity. You see, you could speak the truth. Many people do it online. They speak the truth, but people don't reflect or see the love of God in their words. With that said, you're just like St. Paul said, you're just a gong banging. You're not getting any fruit. You're not doing any good. People have to see the love of Christ in you, and frankly, your life will bear fruit as a result. Then they'll listen to your words. You see, the proper approach to accompaniment is to speak the truth fully and clearly with love, and then love people as they are. And in time, as they see your example, they will accept the truth. It was said clearly, and they will soon accept it. You see, you can't water it down. You can't be ambiguous, because frankly, people don't know or reject it, or you affirm them in their sin. You love them as they are. You speak the truth. You stand your ground. Your life has to reflect the love of Christ and a good example. And then slowly but surely, their eyes and ears will be open. That is how one should approach accompaniment. And we're not seeing that many places in the Novus Ordo Mass. Again, the spirit of Vatican II as opposed to the documents of Vatican II. I believe this controversy between the Novus Ordo Mass and the Vatican and the Latin Mass would disappear if the Novus Ordo Mass regained the sense of the sacred. You could see that on EWTN. Look at the Mass on EWTN. It's a Novus Ordo Mass. There is a sense of sacred. Many people who have abandoned the Novus Ordo Mass, that's what they're searching for rightfully. Rightfully. The Mass is not about you. It's not about me. It's about Jesus Christ, and the sense of the sacred must be there. Another takeaway from this talk, the spirit of Vatican II does not work. It hasn't worked for 60 years. We must embrace the documents fully. And if you don't agree with me, what I'm saying right now, have you read the documents? Do you know what you're saying you don't believe in or reject? Read them. If we embrace them, as Benedict XVI has stated, speak the truth with clarity and charity. If your life reflects that of the love of God and give a good example, slowly but surely people will listen to you. Your eyes will be open. Their eyes will be open, rather. And that is the proper approach to accompaniment. If you're frustrated, as I am, and what I have done, do you fast for the church? Channel all of your frustrations when you witness the spirit of Vatican II lived out in many Novus Ordo Masses into fasting. Every Wednesday, my wife and I fast for the church. I invite you to do the same. Prayer and fasting is the answer. Also, live a radical Catholic life. Have big families. Let people see how you live. Christ says that a lamp cannot be hidden under a bushel. It must be shown. Your life must shine. Let it shine. Give to charity. Give of your time. Have a big family. Be a loving neighbor. Follow the law. And frankly, again, in doing that and in speaking the truth, and when people see it witnessed, their eyes and ears will be open, and that will bear fruit. Again, a good tree bears good fruit. The church is not ours. It's not yours. It's Christ's. Follow the letter of the law, but live the law of love. On this nativity of St. John the Baptist, the greatest man ever born, of a man and a woman, that's Jesus's words. Let us give a good example. Let us speak the truth in clarity and charity. Let us accept the fullness of the church, which includes the documents of Vatican II. Let us reject the spirit of Vatican II, and let our life's example shine before others. And that is how you renew the church. Thank you for listening.